High school soccer on the dais again here this evening at Hallmark Sports Club 2 in Maryville, Indiana. 8328 Colorado Street, just off the intersection of I-65 and US 30. We are going to bring on the Hobart Brickies. Coach Colleen Newell is going to join us here. Coach, welcome to the program, and talk about the summer and how the off-season conditioning has gone for Hobart.
This season has gone really well. We're still pretty young, but the quality of girls and the dedication, we've had the same group of 18, 19 girls come in every day, all summer long, and the dedication is really there this year. And I hear them pushing themselves every day, whether it's during running or during a soccer drill. And it looks like it's going to be a promising season from what I've seen in the off season so far.
How difficult is that for a coach to know that a lot of things are beyond your control? I mean, I know you're a hands-on person. You really like to get in there and work hard, but the things that you just talked about, those are out of your control. Those are between the ears of the student athletes and the attitude that they bring to the game.
I think being a former player, it makes it a little difficult that I can't go out there and do it for them. Sometimes it's a lot easier if I could just jump in and do it for them. But I think I'm giving them the skills and training them that they have to have that self-motivation and that they have to be able to push each other. And I think that the three captains I have this year have really tried to embody that spirit, and they've really tried to push their teammates. So hopefully I've done a good job preparing them and having the athletes out there kind of leading each other rather than me out there trying to do it for them.
Now, you lost 4 one-goal games last year. Those are games that can go either way, as you're going through the process of the first half to the second half. What was the difference in those games as you take a look back now, and what can you do to get over the hump in those type of matches?
Even last year we were still pretty young. It took us a while to kind of find our gel and our chemistry. So it was halftime motivation, talking to them. A lot of times the second half was much better than the first. We were kind of a slow starting team. And those one-goal games hurt. They hurt really bad.
Yeah.
They leave a bad taste in your mouth. But I think that gives us some motivation for this year to look at some of those teams that we were so close. I mean, Boone Grove was one that we were up at one point and tied, and they were in the top 10 during that period of time. Yep. And, Paige Aguilera just snuck a couple in on us. But,
As she did to a lot of people last year.
Yes. So those I think are the motivational tools for this year to kind of get those one-goal games that still leave a bad taste in my mouth.
Coach, in those games that you just said leave a bad taste in your mouth, I think that's the player probably, and you talking because many athletes, just as a former basketball player in high school, those 3-4 point games that just maybe a one turnover could have changed the outcome. What do you tell your players from your own personal experience with that as a former player yourself?
I think they know I've been there. I tell them I've been there. I know what it's like to be down one goal or to be tied and to have that heartbreaker. But that's something that we come back the next day and we immediately start working on what we failed at in that game. Okay, this is what we didn't do well. This is where we lost that game. Let's fix it so it doesn't happen again. And that's really what we've just strived to do is, okay, we're taking it game by game. We saw the one weakness here. Let's fix it. Let's go with it.
And then as a former player, what do you bring personal experience-wise in your coaching, and what do you see as the biggest challenge from going from a former player to now a coach and coaching in creating your own coaching style at that point?
Well, I think they're lucky that I really played every position. I was a backup goalie for my United team and for my high school team, and then I was a forward and I played midfield. So I have experience in a lot of different areas, and so I know that helps them because I know how to teach a lot of different things, and I know goalie skills are one thing that not a lot of coaches have that capability unless you've been a former keeper. It's hard to teach some of those skills. And once Chandler Rosenbaum graduated, I was teaching beginners. So, I've had to go back to those beginning drills in the beginning, even how to catch a ball. And so I think that's helped. But, man, is it tough being a former player, knowing I can go out there. And I tell them, I'm 31 years old. If I can go out there and do it, you sure can do it too. So, and they hear that all the time. And whether it's running, the mile and getting a certain time or whether it's doing a drill in practice, I always rub it in. I'm 31 and I can still do it, so I know you can still do it.
We're going to bring on Cindy Hicks right now. She's going to join us here, a 3.6, doing a great job in the classroom. And talk about cross-country and track, Sydney, and how that helps you stay in shape, and what are maybe some of the mental adjustments going from a sport that's more individual to a team sport.
Individual, it's definitely harder. It's a little harder because you know that you have to push yourself only, and if you do bad, it's all on you, and you have to like mentally prepare yourself for the next time. Where a team, you practice what you did wrong as a team, and you know that everybody's gonna help and like get better. And cross country, this is actually the first time that I've done both soccer and cross country at the same time, so it's gonna be hard during school, but I can make it work.
Touch base on your faith with Fellowship of Christian Athletes and how important that is with your total student life at Hobart High School.
It's nice being around other students and other athletes who have the same like beliefs that you do, and you could go and just talk to them about what they're going through and how like a prayer before a game like you might think will help you to win that game.
Molly's going to join us as well, and that's Zakatansky, and she's 10th in her class with a 4.0 grade point average. Also involved with
Another
swimming.
4.0
And,
athlete.
another 4.0er. And biomed courses, too. Wow, touch base on that. And the interest, is that something that you're kind of gravitating to from the collegiate level?
Yeah, I want to like have a career in like a medical field. So I'm in our Project Lead the Way. It's like a 4-year course, so I'll be doing the 3rd year this year.
And defensively, you're going to be in the back line again, as we talked about before. And how's things shaping up back there? With I'm assuming Pam is going to be stepping in a little bit between the pipes. So talk about that back five and how you guys have been communicating.
I think we're going to be really good this year. Pam got a lot of experience last year, and I think she's going to be our main goalie this year. So she's definitely good at talking to the 4 defense and telling us where we need to be. She sees better from behind us than we can. And we have a lot of defenders this year too, so I think we'll be good back there.
Now, Coach talked about that different mental attitude. Have you noticed that, and what have been some of the aspects that you've been able to observe?
Yeah, I think just having a younger team and like having so many people move up together is helping too. They adjust better to the high school level, and it's easier for like the older girls to like show like the younger girls how like we do things. So it's easier with the attitude and the motivation that way.
Coach, you got 4 of your 5 top scorers coming back, so that's got to be huge from an offensive perspective for you.
Not only that, but I have 2 freshmen that are killing it at practice, and that's the good thing is that this freshman class that moved in, there's about 8 or 9 of them, and most likely 3 are going to right off the bat jump into at least, if not starting, a lot of varsity time. Ashley Henningfield and Brianna Pardis have been putting more balls in the net than anybody that's returning from last year, so that is really promising. And then to have all of those girls back that popped them in for the net, it's a good feeling. I'm feeling good going into this season. So.
Well, I know all the hard work's going to pay off. I really do.
Oh, thank you.
Colleen,
I hope so.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies, for your time. We really appreciate it. Best of luck on the pitch this season.
Good luck.
Challenge will start right away with a home game against Wheeler High School coming up on August the 19th. Then they go on the road taking on Hammond High and LaPorte before getting into the Northwest Crossroads Conference schedule with Griffith and Kankakee coming up as 2 home games in that 3-game stretch for the Brickies from
Mike,
Hobart High School.
We're over the hill.
We are. We're going down the road right now. Now you know what it's like being a marathon man, let me tell you. For great tasting pizza, you must try JJ's Pizza Shack. It's located in Valparaiso. They offer a variety of great tasting pizza, including their famous kitchen sink. Did you have pizza yesterday? Their menu also includes sandwiches, seafood, rib and chicken dinners, and salads. Carry out and delivery is available as well in the local area. For delivery, give JJ's Pizza Shack a call at 476-1616. That's 476-1616. Yeah, come on board, Mike. Come on in, buddy. Have a seat. We're going to bring on the Andrean 59ers. They're going to join us here. And I know this is a very hungry group of young men, and I'm not talking about the pizza that's here from JJ's. I'm talking about the disappointment last season, losing to the Marquette Blazers. And Mike, I know that's a situation that left a sour taste in your mouth, as well as the 2 young men to your right. So, what have you guys been kind of working on? I know when you go through something like that, you start second guessing, what we could have done better or what. But you have to keep in mind that you guys had a terrific overall year last year, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good year, but I mean, it's just live and learn. Like, we made mistakes, and the only thing we can do now is focus. And that was the big key last year when we lost. We lost focus, and we just kind of gave up, and then it came back and bit us. So I think what we're really building on is keeping focused and following through to the end. That's the big point.
What has Coach been emphasizing as far as different aspects of the game, both mentally and physically, here in the off season?
Well, I mean, mentally, it's just mental toughness. Don't let anyone get under your skin, and make sure again to keep focused. That's a harsh key he keeps hitting on. But physically, it's just we need to have enough stamina to keep the game going. Because I mean, that game went through 2 overtimes to a shootout, and we were all tired. So we need to be in better shape and be ready for any type of situation that comes at us.
So is the cardiovascular aspect of things been a little bit more emphasized here in the off season?
I mean, I think they're putting a lot of the weight on us that we need to get it done ourselves. But yeah, I mean, we run a pretty fair amount, I'd say.
When you say you got to work on your mental toughness, you got to focus more. Obviously, that's for almost anything that you do in life. How do you go about that as an athlete? Working on that focusing aspect and mental toughness. I mean, is conditioning something that you got? Do you work on it with conditioning,
Yeah.
running that extra mile, or is it a specific drill that you got to work on?
Yeah, it's really running that extra mile. Like just the other day at practice, coach said, "All right, you guys can get your stuff and get out of here." And we all went over and ran an extra mile because it's mental toughness, and you need to get yourself prepared for this year and everything that we need to get accomplished. And it's really just playing in the games and the scrimmages and stuff like that. Like people will try to get under your skin, anyone will try to say anything to get you off your game, but you just gotta stay focused. You gotta keep cool.
Playing football also this particular fall. Talk about that, doing the balancing act, moving from one sport to the other, and managing all the time constraints.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. They're pretty accommodating, football coaches. As soon as I finish up with soccer, I just head over there, kick a couple PATs, take some kickoffs, just see what we
Just
got
another
going.
day at the office.
Yeah, basically.
Well, you know how important those are based on that
Yeah.
game against Lewis Cass last year. That
Heck yeah.
football game, man, that thing was unbelievable.
That was cool.
Let's
Matt Anderson.
let's bring on Dan Adair as well. He's a 4.0.
We got three 4.0
We
or
do.
better athletes.
We got
sitting down with
great
us.
job. And Dan, talk about the season last year, the midfield. You and Mike are going to be coming back as Kyle and Tom have moved on, and give us an idea of some of the other guys that you think can step up and fill those roles for you.
Yeah, I mean, we lost a lot of good seniors last year, but people are stepping up this year. We got a lot of solid players filling in the positions, especially in our defense. That's our big spot. Aaron and I are going to be basically running the defense, so I think we'll be just fine actually. So
Has Coach kind of adjusted his style and his system to your guys' skill level, or has he pretty much said this is the way it's going to be? You guys adapt to what I want and the philosophy I bring.
no, I think our coach Reese he works around us actually. He does what's best for us. He uses us to our abilities, not to what he wants. So whatever he thinks is best for us, that's how we're gonna play.
I think that's why he's won 300 games. Do you
Yeah,
think?
right. Yep.
As a senior, what has your mentality and maybe your guys' identity as a team changed from your freshman year all the way now to a senior?
Well, I think as a senior this year, I've never wanted something so bad. Like I want to get down to state. I'll do anything to do it. And as a freshman, I mean, I was just a little scared guy coming in.
And
But
what do you attribute that to?
um, well, I mean, I just want to do it for my team and for myself. I think we deserve it more than anything. I mean, we've been through enough not to go down to state this year. So.
Well, let's pass the microphone over to Aaron Corder as well. 3 goals and 4 assists last season. That garnered him second team All NWCC. Also involved with advanced classes as well, with a 4.3 rated 10th in his class. And Aaron, talk about the defense. So you guys had the lockdown situation with Mike Crew back there. Also Dave, Matt, Ryan, and Jake. There's going to be a lot of changes there in the back line. How do you see things shaping up in the defensive mid as well as in the defensive third?
Basically, it's gonna be rough in the beginning, but I feel like 3 or 4 games, maybe a little bit sooner, we'll start to basically smooth everything out, get used to it. I feel like as soon as we click, we'll really like start hitting our stride.
What do you need? What do you personally see is the necessary factor to make you guys click? What's that it factor that you guys need?
I feel like we just need to get used to the people coming up and filling those spots. And once we start like getting to know each other, then we'll be able to play to our fullest potential.
The keeper situation with Mike moving on now. How does that look? I know Ethan was a backup last year. Is he slotted in, or is it going to be kind of an open competition back there?
Yeah, Ethan Mauer graduated,
Oh, okay, so he was
so
a senior. That was my mistake there.
we have two new seniors now, Jake Mauer and Chris Orozco, that will be fighting for that spot, and they're both pretty good.
Is coach going to have you kind of be the transition guy, going from the defense to the offense, moving that ball up? Where has he got you slotted in, or do you know yet?
For me, I'll be at sweeper. Dan here will be our stopper person. So.
So few little changes there for you guys as
hmm
far as that. How do you feel about that? Is that something that is going to take some time to be able to make that adjustment? Because it's always a mental challenge to understand your new responsibilities.
To be honest, it's basically just do what's best for the team. So stepping up into that position is like nothing new.
As three seniors right now, and you guys have talked about it, newcomers, you got to try and work on that chemistry. You said to maybe take 3 or 4 games. Is there something that, as seniors, you guys take it upon yourselves to say, hey, let's all go to the movies. Let's all do something outside, off the field, to kind of maybe get to know each other better, to kind of click a little bit quicker? Is there anything that goes on, I guess, off the field with you guys as teammates?
Um, did you mind answering?
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I mean, this senior group, we're like really tight knit, and it's just we don't have as many juniors and sophomores. So I mean, this freshman class coming in, we don't really see them that often. But I feel like as soon as school starts up, we're all gonna probably be at lunch together and always talking. But I mean, we're pretty close knit as it is right now, and especially our class. We're really
It's always good to hear. Especially from a coach's standpoint, I would assume is nice to hear that his players are kind of making an effort to kind of get to know each other,
yeah,
and through that aspect.
What's it been like playing for Pete, Mike?
it's honestly just it's pretty great. Pete's a Pete's a great coach,
He's
and
intense though, isn't he?
he's pretty intense. But what what really makes him great is that he's a really personable guy. Like you can talk to him about anything, and he'll always have your back. Like no matter what, he's always there for me, and I know that. And I think that's what makes me even think higher of him as a coach because he's such a good person.
Now you talked about not getting off your game mentally. That players try to do that. We saw that the games you guys had against Bishop Knoll were probably two of the most physical games that I've seen in recent history. And then you go into the postseason. So what do you do to prevent that from happening? Do you try to get a little bit more stronger physically as well as mentally? And how do you go through that process of maturation?
Well, I mean, it's lifting weights, getting bigger, and then running more. Make sure you can run more than the guy standing across from you.
Yep.
And again, it's just being ready because you don't know what's going to happen when that game comes, and you don't know what opportunity is going to be in front of you, whether it be a good opportunity to help the team or something that could really hurt you and hurt your teammates. So you just got to be ready to do what's right in the moment.
How often do you guys practice those set pieces? That seem to be something that you're very adept at, and those are times in the game when it seems like you really step up your game.
Yeah, I mean, it's every now and then at practice we'll get up the set pieces, get some freshmen in the wall, and see what's hanging there.
See what they're made of, right?
A little freshman hazing.
Yeah, you gotta let them know. Hey, you guys are
You
guys
gotta
are
earn
with
your
us,
spot. You
but
gotta
yeah.
earn your spot.
But it's just just getting the right runs down. That's the key part because sometimes I feel like we're just making some crazy runs at the goal, just seeing where the ball falls. But we all have to be on the same page.
Guys, give you a wrap up. Let's take a look at the schedule. Dan, you got Lake Central right off the get-go at home, so obviously the challenge is going to be there. Road games against Hobart, Maryville, and Highland before Griffith, Portage, Morton, and Clark at home. A road game against Penn, which will be a great challenge for you guys in the NIC. And then the schedule even gets tougher down the stretch with KV, Crown Point, Bishop Knoll, and Munster. So your impressions of the Northwest Crossroads Conference, and obviously you guys are pointing to that Class A postseason.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think the beginning of our season, we play pretty decent teams, but I think we can handle just about all of them. So that should be good. Knocking the ball around, getting the feel for the game. Then games against Portage and Penn and Chesterton. Those are gonna be the games we're gonna have to come up big, and
Sure.
I think that's what we're gonna do that. So
Guys, continued
Actually, Mike, I got,
success.
I got one
Oh,
more
sure,
question for you, if you
sure.
don't mind. Actually, this is kind of one for all three of you. As seniors, something that I look back on when I played my basketball in high school as your favorite moment being a part of this team, a part of this school. Kind of each one of you take your time to answer what's your favorite moment as a player.
all right, I'll go.
Doesn't matter whoever
All
wants
right.
to go first.
I think my favorite um, experience I had was easily last year. We played Munster for the conference championship. Greatest feeling I've ever had in my life. We've never beaten Munster for conference ever.
Yeah, you guys
So
ran the table in the
we
conference.
did. We
You,
did.
Mike?
Well, I think it's lifting the sectional trophy sophomore year with like Connor and Hayden and Dino and all
Yep.
them. That was a great team. But I wish I could say that I played in the conference title game with everyone, but got a little
But
crazy.
you know what? There's always this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
And
hungry.
Aaron?
Yeah, mine was the Munster game too. Assisting that goal for Metlove at the end was just like no other feeling.
Guys, get some pizza. Thanks a lot
Yep.
for your
Thanks
time.
a lot, guys.
Really
Good luck
appreciate
this year.
it. Best of luck this year. We'll see you down the road. We're going to bring on the Hebron boys soccer program. Ziggy is going to join us here with his clan from the Hebron High School. We want to thank CCSJ again for their corporate sponsorship of this particular event. Calumet College of St. Joseph's is your university of choice and the region home for Crimson Wave Athletics. Men's and women's soccer, as well as cross-country, volleyball, and CCSJ's nationally ranked bowling teams will be in full action during the fall season. Follow all 18 Crimson Wave teams this year and year-round by going to crimsonwaveathletics.com. We are going to bring on Ziggy.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good to see you again, buddy. Talk about the off season and your conditioning and getting ready for 2013 after a successful year last year at 9-7.
Yeah, we are doing very well actually. We are at the second level where we are able to play now.
And what have you seen as far as your progress now in the program after starting off as a first-year head coach and then moving on and getting an opportunity to understand the community and the kids that are coming into your program?
Yeah, most of the kids are playing full year soccer, and that's what is improving the level of the play. And it's not just playing like 2 months in the high school and giving up. Right now, I got like 7 freshmen coming who are like 5 of them are playing full year soccer.
Right, and what has been some of the improvement as far as the incoming kids into the program, as far as aspects of their game,
And the skills level is much more higher, and you can do on the expanded stuff with the kids, not the just basic fundamentals. And that's where we are building up more structure and more formation play.
your philosophy as far as a coach, are you trying to bring in a particular system and have the kids fit that system, or are you looking to their individual skill sets and then developing a system based on their skills?
And there is no individual skills in the soccer. That's my vision actually. And the whole team we have to work on the consistence. We needs to be fitting together in formation. And the formation, if the kids are playing same formation, doesn't matter how extra talented are they are or low talented, they are able to connect together when they are playing same way of soccer. And I'm preferring the 1-2 touches play.
Coach, what's your biggest challenge coming into it with 7 freshmen coming into the season, coaching them up and basically trying to get them to buy into your system? Because any coach that's successful has their players completely bought into their system, it seems like. And what's the challenge there to get 7 new guys coming up and buying into that?
The best thing is they are continue after the high school season, continue playing Premier Soccer, and what's gonna help them to improve their skills. During this instructional soccer with the formation, they are building up during these 2 months what they need to build.
Give us a thumbnail sketch on Grant Morrow along with Richie Botts, why they came here, why you chose them, and what they're going to help to do to help the Hawks win some soccer games this year.
These boys are, both of them are skill level high players. Sorry for that, I never say that. Okay. And they are able to produce what I asked from them on the field. And they are playing full year soccer. And they are never stop playing soccer. Only are breed soccer, both of them.
Right, full year. Let's bring on Grant Morrow first of all, a junior here, 38th in his class right now, a PCC All-Conference performer, also a first-team All-Conference performer in the NWISC 2012 Golden Boot Award, as well as Times All-Area Honorable Mention. And Grant, touch base on the FC Revolution Premier Soccer program and how that helps you get yourself ready for the fall season.
Well, we play a bunch of other teams that are they're high up, and it just helps me get prepared better.
What have you learned from those games as far as what areas in your game do you need to improve on coming up here your junior year?
It helps me more with trying to play the game better with speed, better with footwork.
Who on the squad has opened your eyes here in the preseason? Who have you seen that's made that extra move in the midfield, has shown some speed out there that you feel can really contribute to you guys this year?
I think it'd probably be Richie.
That's good. He's right next to you, so that's good to compliment
Are there
him
any
on that.
freshmen that you've seen that maybe can pass the torch when you guys can pass the torch to when you guys move on from high school?
Yes, there's a couple of them coming up that I think are going to do pretty well.
Well, let's bring on Richie Botts as well. He's also a junior and also doing a good job with a 3.1 PCC All-Conference performer. And Richie, talk about the transition, coach coming into the program, and now he's been here for a while and had a chance to put his stamp on the program, and how you see the system working and how you're going to be able to fit in and what role you think you're going to play.
Oh, it's real great right now. He's coached me for 2 years already. I love the way we're playing. Right now we're playing more of a formation spread out, more passing than anything. We used to be pressuring a lot the first 2 years. We didn't really have that much strong of an offense right now, or we did then. And right now we got these upcoming freshmen who a lot of them play offense, and we attack real strong.
Yeah, it seems like just kind of looking at what happened last year, you had a lot of players, including yourself, with double-digit goals as well as double-digit assists, distributing the ball within the system. Really didn't have a lot of seniors as far as goal scoring, so you got to be pretty excited that you've got this core group of people coming back on the offensive end. So touch base on the offensive aspect of things, and who do you see stepping up and helping you at the striker spot?
Right now we got Dennis Mijatovic, who's really good in the mid. He distributes the ball real well. And Nick Serber, he's an awesome striker. He has a lot of speed and a lot of potential.
What have you learned as far as being the mark man out there, the guy that everybody's going to kind of get physical on you? Maybe some of those stoppers are marking you up and following you around. How have you been able to kind of keep your cool out there and just stay on your game?
It's hard sometimes, but just looking at the fans and everything and my players, and I have to show that mental aspect and show that I'm a key leader.
Richie, is there, you just talked about how your relationship with your coach, he's coached you for 2 years and you've enjoyed it. You've enjoyed the time that you guys have spent together. Is there a moment in your career that you can pinpoint and say, that's when I bought into this system? That's when I said, you know what, this guy knows what he's talking about. This is who I need to listen to. This is who I need to learn from and how to play this game properly.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like my freshman year, we didn't do so hot. But then, like, my sophomore year, that we started working more with them and everything, and we got new players, and we did a lot better, and we had the best high school record Hebron's ever had.
Yeah, 9-7 last year, 3-2 in the PCC, 3-4 in the Northwest Indiana Soccer Conference. And Coach, what have been some of the differences you've seen from the European game to the American game at this level of play, and how that kind of fits in with the whole system of soccer?
The thing is, for high school, if you play high school only 2 months in a year, and in Europe you're playing like a full year, spring and fall season,
right?
It's automatically the level. You have more time and freedom to work with the kids. For us coaches in high school, it's not too much time from August 1 to prepare the team and get ready for 2 months of the season.
Right.
If we play the full year season, it's going to be on the same level with the European soccer.
Yeah, it's got to be a tough challenge for you in that short period of time to be able to put everything together.
Coach, what do you see? I'm sorry, Mike.
That's okay.
What do you see as the biggest difference from club to high school soccer, and what that brings to the kids when playing club or full year-round soccer? Obviously, besides the fact that you're playing more soccer and you're practicing your craft more, what do you see as the biggest difference from club to high school soccer?
In the club soccer, the kids are developing the skill level and the high level. And in the high school soccer, you got the kids who are just playing 2 months and they are not, they are behind on the skill level of the first touches and actually how you call this here in America, foot skills.
Hmm.
And that's what we are missing. That's the difference.
Right, you have to develop those particular
Correct.
situations. Well,
That's the difference.
goals for you and the team this year. What do you think?
Keeping winning season for sure. And let me see how we're gonna do in sectional because we were not lucky in the sectional game last year.
Yeah, you had was it Rensselaer, I think,
No,
or
it was Hanover.
oh, Hanover Central, yeah, and a 2-1 game, a
Yeah.
very tight game. So the game was actually at Rensselaer. So Ziggy, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Mike.
everything.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate everything
Thank
you
you.
do as far as keeping us posted, and thanks for taking the time, guys.
Good luck, fellas.
Really
No problem.
appreciate it.
Take care, guys.
Richie Botts joining us here, along with Grant Morrow from the Hebron boys soccer team. They've joined us. They will try to keep their winning ways going in the Northwest Indiana Soccer Conference. We are going to move now to the Great Lakes Athletic Conference on the girls' side of things and bring on our good friend Myra Rodriguez here in a second. But first of all, we want to thank Calumet College of St. Joseph's, their university of choice and the region home for Crimson Wave Athletics. They are men's and women's soccer as well as cross country, volleyball, and CCSJ's nationally ranked bowling teams. They'll be in full action during the fall season. You can follow all 18 Crimson Wave teams year round by going to crimsonwaveathletics.com. We also want to thank the great folks at JJ's Pizza Shack. They helped feed the student athletes throughout the day as well as gave them the refreshments. They're located in Valparaiso, Indiana. They offer a variety of great tasting pizza, including their famous kitchen sink. Did you have pizza yesterday? Their menu also includes sandwiches, seafoods, rib and chicken dinners, and salads. Carry out and delivery is available in the local area. For delivery, give JJ's Pizza Shack a call, 219-476-1616. And we are going to bring on Myra Rodriguez Alvarez, the head coach of the girls team from Hammond High School. And coach, congratulations on a great year last year, a dream season for the Wildcats. And you can just talk into that, Mike, just kind of pick that up there a little bit. And talk about that 13-0 start for the team, the perfect record in the conference champions, and all the success that you had last year.
Well, it was definitely a year of vindication for our program. We finally got where we wanted to be. And, looking back last year when I was here, I did expect a huge improvement from previous years, but I never expected that, my girls would be undefeated, completely undefeated the whole season. That was a huge accomplishment, not only for Hammond High, but actually for the city of Hammond. That's something that's never been seen before. So, definitely a lot of surprises, and as we kept winning, we kept picking it up. That confidence was there so high that nobody could bring them down at the end, except sectionals. But regular season, it was good. We finally got where we wanted, and we learned a lot. We implemented different things that we decided to do over the years. It's all about experience. We decided to finally have a strong mid, and that's what we worked with, because we have that thing in Hammond where we have a mix of girls all the time. We have the girls that can play really, really well and have been playing young, the girls that have never played in their lives and they show up, and then the girls that are kind of in between. So we've always had that every year, and we always have to work with it. So we decided that, it's probably best to put our better players towards the middle or towards the front, and or disperse them evenly, one in each line.
Sure.
But we are looking to do pretty much the same thing this year, as far as lineups and just strategy. And as far as being undefeated again, that's something that we dream of. That hopefully we could pull off this year one more time. It may be difficult though, because we did have key losses, but
Right.
we are striving for it. We're striving for a good season, for a winning season. So.
Erica Munoz moves on from that midfield spot with the 19 goals and 7 assists. Ruby Gonzalez as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you lose 2 players in the middle, in the back.
Yeah.
So talk about those young ladies, what they brought to your team, and how you're going to be able to replace them.
Well, Erica Munoz, I'll be honest, is irreplaceable. She, was always a strong player from the year she stepped onto Hammond High's field. From 9th grade all the way to 12th, she gave it everything. And it's going to be difficult. And she not only had the skills as a player, she had the leadership capabilities. And, in a world now where it's kind of hard to find outspoken people, it's a struggle sometimes to find somebody that could give direction and give it eloquently as Erica would. So she will be a challenge, and Erica was always very adamant about being aggressive and winning, and she never took losing easily, and she never took no for an answer. So it's going to be difficult to replace Erica, but Alondra is her cousin, so hopefully that rubs off a little bit more on
Yeah, hopefully
her.
there's a family gene.
Yeah, hoping the Munozes have always been great players when they play for me. So I'm hoping Alondra's Munoz gene turns on 100% this year.
We got a couple twins as well with us here with the Diaz's. So why don't you introduce the young ladies here to your immediate right and your expectations for them? We've got two juniors and a senior here tonight.
Right. We have Alondra Munoz next to me, who is my captain. She's a senior this year. She's been with us for 4 years. Then we have Lorena Diaz and Georgina Diaz, the twins. Like I told you in the email, I think they're one person. So they're gonna be their third year with us, and these are pretty much my three midfielders. Elizabeth Navarro couldn't make it with us today, but she's also the other captain, and they're my strong mid this year. So I expect a lot from them.
Elizabeth had a huge year, 22 goals, 6 assists last year as well. So let's bring on Alondra Munoz. First of all, doing a great job in the classroom with a 3.6 GPA coming up your senior year. And Alondra, talk about competing in 4 different sports at Hammond High: soccer, basketball, softball, and track. That's obviously got to be a big challenge. Really not a lot of downtime during the school year for you.
3.6 GPA.
That's right.
Well, it's really tough because you have really no time for it, but I made time for it, and everything came my way, and I had time, I guess.
What was some of the adjustments you had to make from being the hunter to the hunted last year? Of course, that being an undefeated team, you got that bullseye kind of on your back there. Everybody's shooting for you every game, and you guys were able to run the table for the first 13 last year.
Well, we did really good for the first 13 games, and I was really happy because we had never done that before. Other teams from Hammond High, they had never done that before. We broke 2 records. We became conference champs, and we went undefeated. And when it came to sectionals, yeah, I didn't go really our way, but I say we did really good.
Being a senior now, is Coach putting a little bit more responsibility on your shoulders as far as being a leader, and how do you think you'll react to that?
Yeah, Mario's pressuring me a lot. Like push them, but I'm not really vocal when it comes to like yelling or something. So yeah,
You just
Mario
lead
gets
by
mad at me.
example.
Huh?
Lead by example.
Yeah, like push them, yell at them or something. But because I don't yell at them, I just tell them, and they don't listen to me sometimes. But
She's very nice about it. She's like, "Hey guys, we really should do this." And
yeah,
very
Nothing wrong with
positive.
that. Nothing
Yeah,
wrong with
very
that.
mellow.
You're leading in some aspect of the sport, which is good. And a quick question from me is, your coach just gave you a huge compliment with your cousin, how well she did, and how she hopes she looks to you now. Being a 4-sport athlete, does that help or hurt you with the expectations that you have with this team?
it helps me a lot because um, it got me in shape. Honestly, I was not as good before. Like the past years, I was never as good. But I guess I improved. I improved a lot on my soccer skills.
Let's bring on Lorena Diaz along with Georgina Diaz, 3 and 4 ranked in their class, respectively. 3.8 for Lorena and 3.5 for Georgina. And first of all, Lorena, the importance of academics obviously is key for you, involved with natural helpers as well as the academic Super Bowl. Touch base on the natural helpers and what that's all about.
Well, Natural Helpers is like an organization made for like typically for people who are being bullied and targeted.
Outstanding.
And it's like some people come to me for advice or help. Well, not advice because they told me not to give out advice because no one's gonna listen to you anyway.
Is that hard for you to do, to not give out advice when you hear things like that?
Well, I tried my hardest to make the person happy, and so far everyone's okay.
What was it like going through that season, that dream season last year, and what does that do for your confidence, being a sophomore last year and seeing the upperclassmen and the success that they had?
Um, but what was the question?
Just what was that like for you to go through that, and how do you think that's going to
Oh,
help you, coming in this year?
well, like it's gonna help me because like I've grown from freshman year to sophomore year. I didn't. Well, hold on, wait. I made a huge improvement from freshman year. Freshman year, I couldn't control the ball at all, and like um, I had to improve by myself during the off season. I had to join sports. I mean, not sports, but like soccer, indoor soccer teams. And I guess it's gonna help me this year to become a stronger mid, learn more from last year, the mistakes I made last year.
Pass the microphone over to your sister right now. She's also a multiple sport athlete with soccer as well as tennis. And what's it like playing with a twin sister on the team? And I would imagine it's got its challenges, but it's also a situation where the two of you can kind of push each other and help to be better players as well as better students, right?
Yes. Well, it's mainly we're more comfortable with each other since we both know and we're both equivalent to the skills, and it helps a lot.
What are you looking for as far as improvement in your skill set this year? What have you looked to work on, specific areas of the game and expectations that coach has for you this year?
Well, I have to work more, mainly on passing the ball accurately
Yes,
to
thank you.
the other middle.
Georgina is actually my forward last year, and I have to drop her down this year to mid. So
I'm working hard.
she's working. It's a bit of a challenge for her, but I told her I need my strong people in the middle, so she's accepted the challenge. So
Georgina, what have you seen this off season with your workouts that have maybe can give you that 14th win, or to maybe that get you over the hump next year of getting further down in your season?
you can tell them what we did for conditioning, insanity.
Oh,
You forgot about that. She mentally
yeah.
forgot about that.
We've been working out like our core, every inch of our
Have you
body.
been
All
doing the ab ripper?
yes.
Yep, it's a
Yeah,
tough one.
we did the insanity workout for conditioning, so that was pretty nightmarish. And they don't like to talk about
Well,
it.
ladies, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
Continued success, and we really enjoyed covering Hammond High last year. And if we can do it again, we'd be more than happy to come out. So,
Best
Yeah.
of luck to you guys.
Well, hopefully we have you guys out, and anything you need from us, thank you for being there for us. And we love coming on here, talking about our season, bringing my girls, giving them a little exposure. So we're happy to show up. And thank you for
continued
having
success,
us.
ladies.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it
very
very
much.
much. Thank you. The Hammond High Wildcats, as we mentioned, coming out with that start at 13-0. We're going to move over and bring on the boys team with Carlos Alvarez. He's going to join us now as well as the Hammond High Wildcats continue. Again, we want to thank Calumet College of St. Joseph's for their terrific sponsorship. For more information, give them a call at 219-473-4215. Check them out on the web at ccsj.edu. They offer traditional programs with flexible class schedules, accelerated programs to help adults earn their bachelor's degree in as little as 12 months, master's programs specifically designed for working adults. Make CCSJ your university of choice. We'll continue in Hammond now with Carlos Alvarez joining us. The Hammond High Wildcats also having a terrific season last year, losing eventually to Clark over at Munster in that sectional. And Coach, congratulations on the conference championship, and touch base on the success last year, both with the girls program as well as the boys program, and the pride instilled with the purple at Hammond High School.
Well, first of all, thanks for having us here again, Mike. It's a great pleasure coming out here and, bringing the boys out here. But as far as last year, it was something special both with my wife's team and myself. I didn't think that would have happened, but it happened. It was all due to the fact that my seniors that led the team which left this past year with Hiron, Eduardo, and a couple others. It was really the guys that were the older guys that stepped up and led the team into to have the season that we did.
Based on your experience as a player and seeing those kids and what they were able to do last year, how difficult is it to instill that mentality as a striker, as the finisher out there? Because though that's the dirty work out there, those are the guys that are finishing the plays off the crosses. And how do you develop replacements for those guys that were your scorers last year?
Well, we what I do, I don't know how any other school does, but I work on finishing every day of practice. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to score to win the game. So every day we work on finishing. You guys, my guys here. I mean, I don't accept anything but the best from them. So you have to put it away, and that's what we've been working on every year since I've been there. These guys work hard, and it's going to be, I believe, a smooth transition to replace those guys that were up front for us.
How do you do that? Do you kind of break down the game in segments as far as areas on the field and look at different situational angles? How do you reconstruct that?
Well, I do it with cones. I do it. I let them play, and then I stop them during the play, and I explain to them, this is what you're doing wrong. This is what you need to do. Physically, I'm in the game actually playing with them sometimes. So, and I'm not a little pushover either. I treat them like how they want to be treated as far as young adults and men, and we push them to that limit. And yeah, it's a part with me and my assistants. We're in there physically. We're just not on the outside looking in. We're in there playing with them, so that helps
Absolutely.
them out.
Besides the two young men that you brought out here, Alicia Hernandez along with Ivan Romero, who else has been opening your eyes in the preseason with their work ethic as well as what they've been able to bring to the pitch in the preseason?
Well, I believe it's been I mean, all my kids, but if I had to point a couple others, the kid I brought last year, Marcos Zendejas, the goalkeeper. The newcomer, he's actually just came from Mexico. His name is Saul Vargas, extremely talented kid. He's gonna do a magnificent job back there for us on defense. And Eloy Miraz, he's got speed. So I mean, I could keep going and on about my kids, but those are probably the key guys right now.
Now, how do you continue the momentum? Every year is a different year. Each team's got a different personality. You can't piggyback on the success without the hard work putting that in. So how do you instill that? You obviously have that experience for your juniors, sophomores, and freshmen that saw the success that the seniors had, but how do you install that and continue that coming into this year?
Well, this year I started actually a lot sooner than I have in past years. We started by weightlifting and conditioning way earlier than we were supposed to. But, it's just, I tell them if you want to win it all, if you want to be a champ, you gotta think like one and practice and work out like one. So, if you want to continue the success that we had last year, I mean, you can't do anything else but to work hard for it.
Talk about the two young men to your immediate right, why they were chosen to represent Hammond High School and what they bring to your team.
Well, I brought Ivan here to my right, Romero from last year. He's a real intelligent kid. He's a bright kid, and he plays the game well. And the other guy is Eliseo Hernandez. You probably haven't heard too much about him, but he's one of the key guys for my team. He's only a sophomore, but he plays like, he doesn't play his age.
Well, I know the teachers have heard of him because he's number one in his class with a
Another
4.4
4.0
GPA. But let's bring on Ivan first. Ivan Marrero, pick up the microphone there. And Coach, talk about the preseason, the success last year, and what you perceive were some of the reasons why you guys were able to have that success.
Well, first I just want to say thank you for having me here.
You're very welcome, young
it's a
man.
pleasure. And I came last year. It's my second time here. And well, I think last year we had a great year. Of course we lost sectionals, but I mean, I don't think that will happen this year. I think we have a good team. Everyone's doing their job. We practice every day. We really push it to the limit. So I don't think there's an exception to not win sectionals and to have a great season.
Ivan, I'm sorry, Mike.
That's
What
all right.
what have you done over the preseason that you think causes you to think that you can get over that hump? What's the work? What have the workouts been like? And then what do you have to do still before this season starts to kind of make sure that you're fully prepared?
Well, I think this season, before we start working out in the gym, doing weights. I mean, before I think I was skinnier. I'm not saying I'm big now, but I think I was weaker before. So I think that helped out a lot. Also, we started running in the gym. Getting ready to run outside. So by the time we got outside, we're already fit. To run. So I think we're good.
Let's pass the microphone over to Eliseo Hernandez, again rated number one in his class, and obviously academics is huge for you, young man, and how are you able to balance things out? Coach has got a lot of expectations on your time as well as your performance on the field. So how are you able to keep that proper balance?
Well, I just keep time for everything. Always have free time and do stuff. Do what you need to do.
Sophomore coming in this season. What was it like coming in as a freshman? You're obviously new to everything. You're trying to kind of figure out your place with all the upperclassmen. And what's the difference now having a year under your belt coming in as a sophomore?
Well, I always had experience with playing with everybody on the team, so they knew me, and then they helped me out even more by winning and everything.
How's the Northwest Chicago Fire? How's that been able to help you prepare in the off season for your fall schedule with the Wildcats?
Well, we travel a lot, and we always played really hard teams, and we got good experience like that.
Outstanding.
Is there any off the field activity that you do that maybe helps you prepare for soccer?
I usually play with my friends and everything, have fun.
And what about you're still young kind of in your academic career, but do you have any kind of long-term goals as far as area of study that you're looking at right now as you head to your sophomore year?
Sort of like some type of engineering.
Outstanding. Very good, Coach. Well, you got two great young men here to run the program for you. It's always good to have coaches on the field, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
No doubt about that. So as you look for goals for this team this year, what are your expectations? You got, of course, the double round robin and the GLAC again this particular year. And I know that you also talked to me that you're still concerned maybe trying to add a game or two to the schedule as well.
Yeah, as far as adding the games, we got a few more, but
great.
That's a work in progress, and they're going to deliver for us, I believe so, by next season. But
Outstanding.
as far as my expectations about the team, I'll be confident to say that if we worked so hard, and I think my boys agree with me, we're not going to take anything less but sectionals this year. I mean, we're that talented, we're that good, and I believe in my team, and they also believe in themselves. So it's that time of the year for us, and we're going to do it. Like he said, we're going to get over that hump, and it's going to happen. So,
Coach, when you talk with your players and you're out there on the practice field and looking at them running the drills, what is your philosophy with picking a leader? Do you pick a leader? Do you let the team pick a leader? Do you just kind of just let them go out there on the field for a little bit and see who kind of emerges? What's your style of how you pick your leaders on your team?
well, that's funny that you ask, because this year I did something totally out of my comfort zone, and I picked one, and he's right there. He's a sophomore this year, and I picked him. And no one had a problem with it. But in the years past, I've seen who had the best work ethic, who was the constant leader, attitude off and on the field, and I went off of that. But now I picked something totally different.
And what was his personality that you saw? What did you see in him that made you change your philosophy completely?
Well, he's the future of the school. I mean, it really had nothing to do with that. I know the kid since he's in small. He's been coming since his brother was playing for me several years back, so I know the kid personally and how he plays and his mentality. So it wasn't that hard to pick, And like I said, it's his team, and I got to think young and let him know that, from this day forward, he's gonna be that leader till he leaves the school.
Continued success, Carlos. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Appreciate
Good luck,
it.
Coach.
Congratulations on the great year.
Thank you.
And best of luck in 2013 to the Hammond High Wildcats. We are here at the 19th annual soccer kickoff shows. Thanks again to Myra as well and the girls team from Hammond High School. We hope to have them on board with us again. We had the game on last year over at East Chicago Central. Great facility over there, and had a chance to follow the undefeated Wildcats from Hammond High School.
You know what, Mike? That's got to be really encouraging for a player like that to hear from his coach right here on a live segment, on a live show, just how important you are to your team and how much he believes in you.
CCSJ is our corporate sponsor, as the Wildcats from Hanover Central are going to join us. They've got the lowest tuition of any private college in Indiana. They offer traditional programs with flexible class schedules, accelerated programs, and they help adults earn their bachelor's degree in as little as 12 months. Master's programs are specifically designed for working adults. Classes are also offered at the University Center in Portage. Make CCSJ your university of choice. For more information, give them a call, 219-473-4215, or check out their website at www.ccsj.edu. And we're going to bring on Jim Pattison right now, the head coach of the Lady Wildcats from Hanover Central. And, Coach, how's the summer been going for you?
We've had a good summer. We've had a really good open soccer over the summer, probably the most girls we've had in all 3 years. So everything's looking good, looking real good.
Give us the whole history of the program as far as taking over, developing it, getting involved in the NWISC and the conference, starting to develop some of those rivalries. It really is a long process as you take a look back at it, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, we definitely we have some teams that are on our radar, just as we're on their radar. The whole conference has improved though. Like I say every year, I'm really proud of that conference, how it's grown. But as a club, we are getting more recognition. I mean, we've had 3 really good years. We got invited to actually some summer tournaments this year. We couldn't attend, but for the first time, we're getting some recognition. We're getting that, hey, let's call that school to come and maybe they like participate. So the reason that, the success we have are these young ladies that are here. The 3 years that I've been there, I haven't scored one goal or made one save.
And what's it like as a coach to get that recognition for those summer tournaments?
Oh, it feels good. It feels good to finally, get to that status. To like, hey, okay, we're getting invited to camps. We're getting invited to these summer tournaments. It's just going to make us better. We're getting recognition. It makes our program, you know, the younger girls coming up, they want to get there. I have some seventh and eighth graders right now that can't wait to get to the program to start playing. So that just helps me. It makes my job a lot easier. And my every year, the senior class that we have, they're great leaders. And I got a great group of seniors again this year. They're actually, most of them are 4 year starters. So I have the privilege of they started with me together. They're my firsties, I call them. We started our high school careers together. So this is the senior captains I brought today. We've been together 4 years. They're really special to me. They started as freshmen. I've known them since they were in seventh and eighth grade playing middle school soccer. So it's really exciting.
How huge is it for you in the program to have kids like BK Sakalaris, Celeste, Summer, Pattison to move on and play college or go to college, and Blair with her 91 career goals to be able to establish that level of excellence, because that really sets the bar high for the kids, as you mentioned, coming in, the younger kids?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. We have actually several girls playing right now in college. Sam Bathurst, who I had a couple years ago, is playing for IUPUI now. Summer's playing for Trine. BK's playing for St. Joe's. I know these two right here, they get play at the next level if they want.
Mhm.
The program is just getting that looks too from colleges. Some Division two, Division three colleges, they're calling me at the end of the season, looking for, hey Jim, what do you got? You got any suggestions? Not just from us, from anywhere in the conference. So it's a big plus. And for them girls to move on, I have a little thing I bring the incoming freshmen when they come in. I have pictures of my graduating seniors, and if they're playing in college, I put that college picture right next to them.
Outstanding.
That's awesome.
Because
That's
like
awesome.
Kristen Nurtaug's playing for Purdue Calumet, and I'm really proud of her too. She's really doing well. That program's really going. It's taken off. So I show those incoming freshmen, hey, this is senior class in front of you. This is what they're doing now.
What's their normal reaction when they see that?
Well, right away they're into it. They buy in. The trick is to get them to buy in right there. And if I can get them to buy into that program because they see this, the upperclassmen moving on and playing at the next level, then they want to be there.
Introduce the two young ladies to your immediate right, why you chose them to be leaders and representatives for the Wildcats, and how they're going to help you win some soccer matches in 2013.
Well, Kaylin Fanta she's my center mid. She's been the center mid for 4 years now. She's the leader of the center of that midfield. She's been there, a great student athlete academically. I can count on her. And Carrie Johnson, she's just a rock. She's always been that way. When she came in as a freshman, she took a spot from a senior. It wasn't real pretty at the time, um, but I knew she was deserved that position, and she has never given it up since. So both players are solid. They put the effort in the off season, and it shows. It shows, and I use them for references to the younger girls. Hey, you see how she does this drill? That's how it's supposed to be done. That's what it should look like. Okay, so they're very solid players.
Let's bring on Carrie Johnston right now and take us back to that freshman year, Carrie, and stepping up there to be able to take that spot from an upperclassman and then continuing on and then kind of give us an overall analysis of how you feel the program has progressed in the last 4 years.
Well,
Sounds like she's got a good response.
sounds like that's a long question. Um, I don't know, like coming in from like middle school soccer, going like right in like, oh, you're gonna be starting and stuff for high school. Like, it was like it was a transition you had to make. Kind of hard, but you get used to it after a while. You had to step it up. And I think our program's doing well because we have more. We're getting more numbers on the team. We're good players coming in.
Well, that's a good thing. And touch base on karate and how you think that helps you from both the physical and mental aspect of the game.
I don't more like it's like more of a contact sport, so it helps you like you're not afraid to like get rough, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, and coordination it helps with too.
Both these young ladies are black belts.
Wow.
Does that mean you can kick the ball harder? Is my question.
No. I mean, I guess it helps a little bit.
Talk about your experience in the North-South All-Star game, what that was like, and playing a different level of competition statewide.
It was cool getting to like see everyone from like in the state, like meeting, hey, you come from like 50 miles away and stuff like that. It was cool getting to see everyone and play with them, same level.
Pass the microphone on to Kaylin right now, Fanta. She's rated 10th in her class, 4.0 GPA, all-conference performer. And give us your experiences in that North-South All-Star game, Kaylin, and maybe what you learned as far as your level as you come into your senior year.
Playing in the North-South All-Star game actually was a little nerve-wracking because we were all, well, I was a junior, and only junior and senior players can go to the game. So it's kind of nerve-wracking looking back at it and seeing all these different players and how at my school, yeah, I stand out. But when put together, like going to college, if you would think of it this way, it's kind of scary knowing that they are as same talent as you are.
What's it been like missing the seniors, from last year, and now you being the leader and people looking up to you, the lower people, the younger kids, and are you a leader by example, or are you more a verbal person? How do you work that out?
It's a little nerve-wracking trying to step it up and, take place of the good seniors that we had. They were phenomenal. I mean, BK was our goalie. Blair, she had, 91 goals in the season. It was really hard trying to take their spot, but hopefully I'll be able to do that well and give them some insight and, I guess, try to get out the best season possible.
Kaylin, I guess as a senior, and this is actually maybe for both of you, you guys, your coach just described, you've been together, you started your high school careers together. Talk a little bit about what that means to you going into your last year with him, spending your last 4 years with him, and maybe what's your favorite moment?
Favorite moment's got to be winning sectionals and going on to our first regional game because Hanover, that year, we were the only school sport from our entire school to make it to a sectional that year.
Outstanding. And Coach, you got to be very excited about this particular team. Each team has its own personality as well as its own skill level. But what are your expectations in what's going to be a very tough NWISC again this year?
We're going to be fine. We're going to have exactly what you touched on. As a freshman, you may be ready physically, but some of my freshmen aren't ready mentally yet. And I made that comment the other day, and they didn't understand what I was saying. But they will in a couple weeks. When it hits them like a hammer, they'll understand that they're playing at that level. You know what I mean? So mentally, they're not. Usually, as a younger kid, they got what it takes physically, and they can do the touches and make the moves. But the mental part of the game is what they have to get.
Is that the hardest part as a freshman coming into a high school team,
No
or
doubt.
is it maybe because what most coaches say is they just need the reps, the experience. Is that where the mental game comes to grow, or is there something else that a freshman needs a little bit more than that?
Well, smaller schools, it's got to be both mental and physical. But the mental part, the upperclassmen try to tell them what to expect. I always tell them, when we're in stretching, they're in their stretching drill. I said, you guys don't know what you've bought into yet. And they don't understand what I'm saying. But as they're a sophomore, they understand that they bought into a program that we have high expectations, mentally, physically, to succeed. We want to win. We want to win. It's not You're no longer playing in a rec league or playing with your middle school team where you play and practice 1 or 2 times a week. And you play on Saturdays. It's 5, 6 days a week of commitment, 2 hours a day, and it's a lot of work. And as that season wears on, you have to be mentally tough when you come towards the end of September, October. When sectionals come, your body's going to want to say no, and you got to tell your brain, no, we have to still go. We want to win that sectional. We want to get to regionals. So I think that's the mental toughness that I'm talking about that a younger kid doesn't get. And that's when my senior leaders, they start beating it into them. They start telling them.
Continued success, Jim.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate your time. Ladies, thanks very much for coming out. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hanover Central, the Wildcats had a great year last year. They're going to try to continue with that success. And speaking of terrific seasons, we're going to bring on Chris Mykert right now, the head coach of the Crown Point Bulldogs, along with Jenna Arnold's going to join us. The Bulldogs with another terrific regional run. End up going to the semi-state, and a terrific run for the Bulldogs this particular year. They end up, of course, going to South Bend. You got the brand new schedule here from Coach, which we really appreciate. And Chris, congratulations on a great year. It's always sad to turn the page, especially on a terrific group of senior leaders that you had with Sarah Rivich, Rachel Marcheski, Courtney Farrell, Lissa Sales, Megan Sulka, Ashley Matthews, Victoria Borowski. The list goes on and on. Just a special group of kids.
They were a great group of kids. Our most successful class ever, 3 DACs, 3 sectionals, 2 regionals, Seminole State Elite 8, Seminole State Final 4. So that class left pretty successful, to say the least.
No doubt about that. And talk about the impact that they've had on the younger kids and the experience that the freshmen, sophomore, and juniors have had under their leadership, and now the incoming kids coming into the program.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, I think, in 2 ways. I think the team has dynamically changed. I think there was a lot of Sarah, Rachel, Courtney watching. They're going to do the work, and now those kids are gone, so now these kids have to replace, and there's a lot of kids that are getting their opportunity, and they're excited about it. And because those kids work so hard, the work ethic is now passed down to these group of kids who are showing the incoming kids kind of how it works here at Crown Point.
What do the loss of those kids mean for you from a tactical standpoint? You had one of the better set piece players in the state, and you had other kids that were able to step up in certain roles in your rotation that you had coming into the game that you knew were going to be able to step up in certain parts of certain games.
Yeah, the system stays the same, and we continue with that. The loss comes with the 3 kids in the middle with Sarah, Rachel, and Courtney that dominated that center midfield for the entire year. And it caused us now to change Jenna Arnold's position, where we moved her from central defender, where she's played for the last 3 years, to the center mid to become kind of like a Sarah Rivich type player, where she can slash and kind of attack the goals. I always use this reference to her. She reminds me of an NBA point guard. She gets that ball and she's 100%, and she's going to shove it down your throat and go right at you. So there's been a lot of changes, but this team has really stepped up, and we're really excited about these kids. It's a different culture, I think, with them in terms of they're all working together, and we're excited about that.
You've always had a good mix of kids. You've always had a group of seniors. There's always been juniors, sophomores, and even a couple of freshmen. Of course, Anna really stepped up last year, and thank goodness she's able to, with the injury last year in the postseason, to be able to survive that and move on. But there's always seemed to be that mix. How difficult is it for you as a coach? Everybody wants to be on the field at the same time, and just balancing that playing time and giving the younger kids that have the skill level to be there, and taking maybe some of that playing time away from the upperclassmen.
We've been pretty lucky that the kids have really understood their role, and that if they're playing well, they're going to get more playing time. So it hasn't been hard in that sense. We've been pretty lucky, because obviously when you're successful, it's a little bit easier
Sure.
to accept kind of your role on the team. But Um, uh, the one thing I think that we're going to see this year is that there's going to be a ton of contributors. You mentioned Anna, obviously, as a freshman coming in and stepping up with 9 goals last year, including 2 huge ones in the Munster game and the sectional. And then Katrina Ornelas, who was outside for us, outside wing. We just moved her back to an outside defender and has just done and could be in the inside at some point. Did an outstanding job. So with our team, like you said, we've had a bunch of kids that get experience at a young, real young, and then you got 3-4 years like this kid sitting next to me. Is that she's a 4-year starter, and now she's the leader of the team. After she's had some great leaders in Beth Rothrock and that Abby Small class, and now this previous class with Rivich and Marcheski and all those kids. So I think she's got the tougher job than me to kind of fill those roles.
We're going to bring on Jenna Arnold right now. And Jenna, talk about the position change. Obviously, Coach feels that it's important for the team aspect of things. And I imagine it's going to be a little bit more exciting being more involved in the offense.
Yeah, coming in after behind Sarah and Rachel, it's like it shows you they were a good role model and they showed you like how to be a team and what it took to be the leader. And basically we knew what we had to do, and at the same time they showed us just to have fun.
The aspect of going through the program from the start, you're learning, you're looking up to upperclassmen, you're looking for their example. Now you're the person that's everybody's looking up to. So talk about that adjustment from being the follower now to the leader.
Yeah, as a freshman, ever since freshman to last year, Sarah Rivich has always been my number one role model, and I've always wanted to play like her, and stepping up into her position in the past few years has been an honor. And now, like, thinking of me as being someone else's Sarah Rivich is like almost mind-blowing. But when freshmen and new players come in and say how much they look up to me and how much I push them to strive to do their best, it really helps you play better.
Without causing too much angst here, talk about the Munster game. I mean, obviously, huge comeback and just an exciting game, and to be able to propel you to the next level had to be probably one of the bigger thrills in your high school career, I can imagine.
Yeah. Once halftime hit and we were down, I think nothing really had to be said. We all just knew what had to be done, and once we got on that field, we knew what we had to do, and we did it.
Oh, congratulations on that. And multiple sport athlete, Jen, as well, with track and field. How does that help you with soccer? Sometimes track and fields, it depends. You could be an individual event, it could be a team event, and the mental adjustment between the two.
I didn't do track last year, but for the 2 years before, what track really helped me with was staying in shape for soccer, and I ran individual and relays. And I think the difference with soccer and track, I love soccer a lot more because it's a whole family, and with track, it's like you're on your own, and it's up to you, really.
Academic All-State as well. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. I know this guy is demanding, and rightfully so, because he's had the program at a high level for many years. How are you able to balance all that with the juggling act between the expectations of your teachers and your coach?
I think it's a lot of you have to time everything right. You can't procrastinate. You have to be on top of your game at all times and just do your best with everything.
What leadership aspects have you taken from the field to the classroom? Obviously, top 10 in your class. There's something to be said about that just by leading by example. Obviously you're not in charge of telling other people to get their homework done, but at the same time, they're going to be top 10 in the class. They got to be looking to you as to how to get things done, and talk a little bit about how you've taken that leadership role in that sense academically as well.
I think when you're a senior and you've gone through high school now and you have the freshmen and the underclassmen, you kind of got to give them help and give them hints be smart with what you do on the weekends, make sure you get your homework done, don't just lay around, don't be lazy, and sometimes we have study sessions and do our own thing.
Give you a wrap-up, Coach. The schedule obviously is challenging in the Duneland. You again go down to Marion County and participate over with Hamilton Southeastern as well, which I know was a eye-opening experience for you last year.
Yeah, we go down there, and last year we went down there with no seniors. They were all taking SATs, so
that's right.
They kind of hurt us.
Yeah.
Brebeuf has one of the best center midfielders in the state, and Hamilton Southeastern is loaded every year. It's a great experience. It's just tough when you come back after that weekend, and then you get 2 days rest and you're playing Valpo. I mean, it's just tough. But that's there's no doubt that our
Oh
schedule
man.
has led us to have the success we've had in the postseason. We practice at 5:50 in the morning over the summer, 3 days a week, and I think the lowest number we've had at a practice was 39 kids. And
Outstanding.
these kids are dedicated, and between the schedule, their work ethic, it's just a blast to be around these kids. And I think it's going to be a fun year at Crown Point. It's definitely a different culture with the kids that have left, but Jenna's hungry, and so are those other kids, and they got a little taste of some success, and they want to continue that.
Thanks very much for everything. We really
Thanks,
appreciate
Coach.
how you
Good luck.
positively promote your kids, and we'll see you down the road.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate what you guys do for us. Thank
Okay,
you very
Chris.
much.
Thanks
Good luck,
very
Coach.
much.
Thank you.
Jenna, congratulations and continued success to you and the Bulldogs as the semi-state participants from last year from Northwest Indiana leave us. And we continue on here with the soccer kickoff show, the 19th installment of Northwest Indiana Soccer here. We've been at it since 1 o'clock this afternoon, Adam, and we've had a few of the 43 programs that we were going to spotlight, and another one's going to come join us right now, and the Lake Central Lady Indians, another participant from the Duneland Athletic Conference. Julie Moore is going to join us. She's the head coach of the Indians from Lake Central High School. Ladies, if you could pass me those bio sheets down here so we can talk a little bit about what's going on with you. And Julie, a little bit different mindset this season because you're a grizzled veteran now in the sidelines, so to speak. So second year as head coach. Talk about the adjustments you have to make now as you're a little bit more experienced in the role and the time and everything.
Well, I definitely think that after my first year, I've learned a few things and I'm ready to make a few changes, and we're going to be working with different formations and different positions on the field with the girls.
Discuss delegation a little bit as a head coach. Sometimes coaches like to be hands-on and control everything. You got Marion Dunlap along with Terry Budlove to help you out there. So touch base on delegation and putting your trust in people that you feel can help also impart what you're trying to put into the program.
Well, Mary and Terry both, they bring a lot to the coaching staff. They are with me all the time with my decisions, and we definitely see the field the same way. We have a defensive mindset, so it really helps where when I'm assign them something, I can entrust that they will take care of whatever I need them to take care of.
Well, you come from a soccer family, no doubt about that. A lot of success on both the boys as well as the girls' side. What has that been like as a family experience to go through that and experience all those things with your family members and the success that you've had?
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, you got Lori, you got the boys' coach.
Oh, well, Lori and then Richard was the coach before with him.
Right.
Yeah, and we've just been a family of soccer. Richard and I played when we were little, probably since the time we were 7. And Lori, she is my younger sister, and just the three of us together when we coached, it was a really interesting dynamic. I think I learned a lot coaching with them, and it's always good. Even now, I bounce ideas off of them, off my dad. I mean, we always are talking soccer. So
what's the biggest aspect, Coach, that you bring to the game from a former player aspect?
I definitely think I can still, hopefully, I know it's been a while, but I think I still can remember what it was like as a player and the things that a coach needs to do to motivate you on and off the field. And I hope that I can take what I need to tell them and bring it down to their level so that they can understand.
Is there anything that you can remember maybe from your own playing days that a coach did for you specifically that you try and maybe implement into your own system?
Just kind of giving them a little bit of independence and to make their own decisions and their own choices. I definitely try to instill their own creativity. At practice, we'll say, these are things you can do, but I really want you guys to own it and bring your own characteristics and your own creativity to the game.
That's awesome.
Got some graduation losses in both the forward, the mid, as well as in the back line. Obviously, Lauren Doreski, a huge loss, moving on to, I believe, was it IU PUI or?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Lauren is. She definitely is a college-bound player. I'm not sure where she ended up with that, but she definitely instilled a leadership that I think is a legacy that she will pass on to these girls that are here, Teresa and Lindsay. She definitely, I think, was a positive influence on them, and that is something that will impact the team for years to come.
Teresa Baranowski will join us, as well as Lindsay Kuzbel here in a second. But besides these two young ladies that have come out here today, who else has been opening up eyes for you in the preseason that you feel can replace a Shad and Freedom up top, Lauren in the midfield, as well as Michelle Wortman and Elisa Fife in the back?
Well, we definitely have a younger team. We are mostly composed of sophomores and juniors. We do have a few seniors, but the starting lineup I do see as the juniors and the sophomores. And we are just playing around with who will fit where and where they will go together to make the best fit, the best connections.
Let's bring on Teresa Baranowski right now, a junior. Pick up the microphone there, Teresa, a junior, 3.4 grade point average. And let's talk about weightlifting here a little bit. The competition, both the last couple years, and what was that like going through that competition, and how does that help you in the soccer field?
Well, I think weightlifting helps you, like if you work on jumping in the weight room with weights on you, and it makes you jump higher for headers and different kind of dynamics. Coach Halterman helps us out a lot with that kind of stuff. He helps us strengthen our legs and, our muscles for throw-ins and all that good stuff. But the weightlifting competition was a good experience. We did win second and first place the past 2 years as a team. So.
What's your strongest exercise that you feel like you succeed the most in?
Definitely like deadlifts and RDLs.
And do you try to do some specific weight training for soccer, or is it mainly more of an all-around type of thing with the weightlifting?
I honestly love to weightlift all around, but I do work a lot on my legs, especially calves and thighs, doing curls and calf raises and stuff like that.
How do you see the back line shaping up this year with Michelle and Elisa moving on? We did see Rachel as well as Ashley back there last year. So how do you see the back line with your teammate to your immediate right?
I think we'll be okay. I really do. I think that we have a lot of good upcoming sophomores and juniors and also seniors that they can play that role.
And your club experience with Vardar, the Tigers, the Magic, the Crete Hawks, as well as ODP, touch base on that, and the level of competition that you're playing in there obviously has to help you, especially in that tough DAC.
Yeah, ODP was definitely an amazing experience. Met a lot of girls from all over the place, and also Indiana Tigers is my former club, and we did do pretty good in some of the state cup tournaments. Also, our record this season was kind of iffy, but we did good.
Let's bring on the last line of defense for the Lake Central Indian defense. The goalkeeper, Lindsay Kuzbel, is going to join us. 4.3 GPA, Lindsay, and congratulations on that. And talk about the experience of going through the season last year with Coach here, going through the growing pains of getting used to her style and her particular way of doing things, and maybe the difference between last year and this.
It was very good both years. She was new, but I think we all gelled really well together, and I think this year it's just going to be even stronger.
Defensively, as the keeper, as we mentioned, you're the last line of defense there. Are you a person that likes to communicate back there? How do you go about doing that? That's kind of the unseen aspect of soccer, is the defensive third, when you're out there trying to figure out where the four players that are in front of you, whether you're doing a diamond or you're doing a four flat. So touch base on that and how you communicate with your teammates.
I think I could be a little more vocal, but we do communicate very well. They trust me back there. They're not afraid to pass back, and we just get it done.
I know that's really an aspect of goalkeeping that a lot of people overlook, isn't it? The fact that you're kind of almost like that fifth defender back there, and touch base on how long you work at and how much is emphasized as far as foot play as well for a keeper back there.
Foot play is definitely important. They pass it back to you, and you got forwards running at you from all directions. You have to learn to get it off quickly.
How do you prepare for shootouts?
Just practice.
I gotta ask you, because when I play FIFA, that's probably the hardest thing ever, is judging where for penalty kicks when you're going left or right. How do you handle that out there on the field? What is your mental aspect going into a penalty kick and judging which way to go when you're going for a kick?
Basically, I just zone in right on them, not listen to anyone in the stands, not listen to anything else, and just zone in right on them.
And you're also involved with the Lady Cyclones in AAU basketball. Touch base on that. I would imagine that's also getting involved with going to different areas and getting a little bit out of your comfort zone as well.
Yes, we do travel a lot with them. We go to different states and play in different tournaments, but they're a real good team. And
well, Coach, the challenges are definitely there again this season for the Indians. You guys are going to be at the St. Joseph's Invitational in the first weekend of the season. You got the Dumoulin schedule as well. I know I've talked to Lori about this before, and it's kind of a double-edged sword, isn't it? That you start off with all those rough games, but you know that the ultimate goal is to be playing well in October, right?
Absolutely. It definitely prepares us early on in the season so that we can continually to grow throughout the season.
Well, thanks very much. We want to thank the Cherryville Soccer Club for stepping up. We're going to be covering at least one of your games, if not a couple this season. So look for you on the sideline, and continued success, Julie.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks very much, girls, for taking the time and coming out. We appreciate it. Lindsay Kuzbel, along with Teresa Baranowski, joining us here from the Lake Central Indians girls soccer team. They will be competing in that tough Dumoulin Athletic Conference meat grinder again in the 2013 season, and they have had a great run of success over there, and they're hoping to continue that coming up in the new year. Again, we want to thank JJ's Pizza Shack for all the terrific food that they provided throughout the
Wonderful
evening here
pizza.
to the student
Wonderful
athletes. Also great soda as well. We want to thank Calumet College of St. Joseph's for their terrific support of these student athletes. Without their corporate partnership, we would not be able to broadcast this particular event on rrsn.com. Calumet College of St. Joseph's is your university of choice and the region home for Crimson Wave athletics, men's and women's soccer, cross country, volleyball, as well as CCSJ's nationally ranked bowling teams will be in full action during the fall season. 18 Crimson Wave teams year-round can be followed by going to their website at crimsonwaveathletics.com. David Galloway, the head coach of the Chesterton girls soccer team, is going to join us here, coming off a 13-5-1 season, 4-3 in the Dumoulin Athletic Conference season. And I know, Coach, that you're also involved with a lot of the club sports going on in the off season. So I'm sure it's been a busy summer for you, and the action continues on the pitch, right?
Yes, it does. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Great to see you.
It's been a long day. We've been at it for about 5.5 hours. We've got another 2.5 to go, but it's great to see you.
Great to see you. I've been watching you on the webcast, and you look good.
Thanks. I appreciate that, Coach. Last season, a season that had a good group of kids, a good group of senior class with Nikki Kohler, Elizabeth Benson, Dana Gallo, Angelina Jecka, and as well as Sarah in the back, along with Sierra Brown and Alex Bucko. So a large group of kids that have moved on and graduated. So touch base on that class, what they brought to this program, the 4 years of hard work and the success that they brought to Trojan soccer.
Well, obviously they're a part of a great tradition that's been at Chesterton for a number of years. In the last 4 years, I think we're 47-11, so we've had a pretty good run. Haven't got out of sectional the last couple of years, so we're looking forward to getting out of sectionals this year.
The mindset to do that and with these kids, how do you impart that upon them? What aspects of both the mental and physical game do you try to get them to step it up prior to starting your season, which comes up soon?
Well, Coach Whistler, Mike Whistler, one of the best coaches out there, great assistant coach.
And a great guy, too.
Yes, great guy. We decided to refocus on fitness this year. 3 years ago, when we made that run into the semi-state, we probably were the fittest team in Northwest Indiana. Got away from that a little bit the last couple of years. So this year we've kind of reinvigorated that program.
And, the girls are rolling their eyes a little bit to your right over here.
And as a result, the fitter you get, obviously the mental part of the game is a little bit easier because as you get tired, that's what the part of the game that you take over is the mental aspect of the game. And certainly I like to concentrate on that part of the game. Make sure that we're...
What new aspects off field wise, or off season wise, conditioning, stuff like that have you brought this year to maybe try and help you get over that sectional hump?
Well, this year we went back to our standard 2-mile run. A lot of teams like to run 1 mile. We like to get that 20-minute run in every day, and then we get the girls timed in a 2 mile. And there's an expectation for that 2 mile, and most of them met it this year. I was very pleased with that. So once we get to that point, then we're able to focus on the interval training that we've started to integrate slowly but surely. Coach Wiss has got them running up down the stadium steps at Chesterton High School, and those are some pretty tall steps to run up.
They are.
Yes,
I have a hard time getting the equipment up those myself.
So He's really had a great regimen for him this summer. Been very pleased with it.
Mentally, that's another aspect of it as well. Trying to get over that sectional hump. What do you do to try to help them in that aspect of things?
Well, this year I try to tell them, as I have in the past, we need to concentrate on the little things. Every inch that we win accumulates. So if we win those inches, we win the battle inches, we're going to win the game. So we're concentrating on the very little things this year.
Coach, when you're heading into the season, about to start the new season here in 2013, is there a point before the season that you might say, hey, let's just kind of pump the brakes just a little bit, just to kind of give them that little bit of rest just before the season, or is it just we're just going to keep going and going and going?
We have a philosophy at Chesterton that there's 2 seasons. There's the regular season, which encompasses our conference schedule, which we concentrate on, and there's the postseason. We are always playing for the postseason. Every game that we play, every training session we have, we're anticipating the postseason.
Very good, Coach. And you brought Madison along with Kristen over here. Before we touch base with them, who else has been opening eyes in the preseason? You've got a lot of new kids, new faces that are coming in all levels of play. But who's kind of turned your head and say, you know what, this young lady looks like she's going to really be able to really help us this year?
Obviously, Bridget Brenza comes back as a second-team All-State player. Have great expectations for her. Got a sophomore named Kaylee Lindahl. We have great expectations for. Tia Peters is a junior, very talented player. And our sophomore class is pretty strong. So as I look at that group and the senior group that we have mixed in with a few juniors that we have, I think we're going to be very strong this year.
Introduce the 2 student athletes to your immediate right. Your expectations for them. These are senior leaders that are not only doing a great job on the field, but in the classroom as well.
Absolutely. Tremendous young ladies. Kristen Hummey to my right and Madison to her right, Madison Kudre. Kristen Hummey, a senior this year, unfortunately didn't play for us last year because she had an ACL injury, and I'll let her speak to that. Just a great student athlete, great motivator for the kids. Everybody loves her. She does a great job for us as far as the mental side of the things that I can't handle on the drama end of things, if you will. And then I got Madison Kudre, who's, I'm fortunate that I have a player of that ability that I can move her just about anywhere I might need her. And this year she's going to be expected to play in the back. There's times that she doesn't care for that, but she understands she's going to do what's best for the team.
Well, let's bring on Madison Kudre right now. And Madison, talk about that flexibility. Being able to play multiple positions for Coach. It's obviously an important role. Injuries happen during the course of games. Maybe there's matchups that he's looking at where he feels that you can come in and help on an outside with a cross, or else come up on top and help with the offense. So touch base on that aspect of things, having that mental flexibility to play wherever Coach wants to plug you in.
It always helps just being flexible because, I'm confident in any position that he puts me in because he prepares me every season, and everybody they'll help me through it all, and it always just helps to have everybody on my side all the time, and I can always get a good cross off if they need me to, and I just work hard, and everybody works hard for me. They know I'm not going to every time have the best cross because that's not my, if I play forward, like I don't usually play forward, they'll just help me through it all.
The conditioning this particular preseason, has it been pretty rough from Mike and from Dave?
Definitely.
Well, how does the swimming help you out in that? That's obviously a low impact sport, and it's something that always can kind of keep you in shape throughout the year, right?
I think swimming has been one of the main reasons why I haven't gotten injured, knock on wood, from soccer, because it's such low impact that when I get back to the soccer field and I get that high impact from running all the time and on my knees, it's just just stress relief off my joints and muscles.
Now, you've had an opportunity now for 3 seasons to understand what it takes to play at the varsity level. How difficult is it to play the schedule that Chesterton does each year? You've got the Dumoulin Athletic Conference, and Gary Nowlenweg always does a great job of providing challenges for the coaching staff on both the boys and girls side, non-conference-wise. So how difficult is that to keep your edge going game after game when it's such a physical year?
It's all mental. It's a lot physical too, but as long as you have the right mental attitude going into it, you'll make it through. We have sometimes 3 games a week, and it does get difficult at times, but
Um, Coach Galloway knows that. Coach Whistler knows that, and so they they plan practices around that, and we work on different things each day to for the betterment of everybody.
I'm going to pass the microphone over to Kristen Hummey right now as well, and want to thank special thanks go out to Barbara and all the great folks over at the Duneland Soccer Club for all of their particular support. And I'm sorry, Kristen, I have to read this as well before I interview you. Our friends at the Winey Insurance Agency have been serving Northwest Indiana's insurance needs since 1980. They're a family-owned and operated business offering coverage for auto, health, life, business, and more. They're conveniently located at 762 South Calumet Road in Chesterton. They're the region's #1 leader in friendly and prompt service. Call Winey Insurance Agency today, 219-926-3431. You can also check them out on the web at wineyinsurance.com. And Kristen, 25th rated in your class with a 4.4 GPA. Academic All-State. That's 3 words that carry a lot of weight. Discuss how you're able to perform well in the classroom and also meet all this guy's expectations to your immediate left.
Honestly, it's quite a lot of late nights, but we have time to do homework before games. A lot of girls on the team are in the same classes. We work together. If we have questions, it's usually not a problem.
And I know that Kate Pagorni was obviously a huge aspect of the Chesterton girls soccer program. Talk about winning the Spirit Award in her honor and how that makes you feel.
That award probably meant more to me than anything else on there.
Yep.
Knowing her story, it's really an honor because not playing last year,
yep,
it was really great for the team to see that, I tried to contribute my best. It was rough, but...
And that's a terrific honor, no doubt about that. And discuss the 3-time state qualifier, your 3-time state qualifier in the 1600, the 4x800, and the 4x400 relays. What an accomplishment for those 3 years for you and your teammates.
Thank you.
Discuss that and what that experience was like.
Track, I think it's an individual sport, but there were a lot of soccer girls on all of those relays. We worked together, we pushed each other, and it's basically the same on the soccer field. All pushing each other, working hard.
Well, Coach, you got 2 great senior leaders here with your program. Make sure you give your best to Mike. He's one of my favorite people in the universe.
Absolutely.
And your expectations for this team. What do you think?
They're always very high. I expect great things this year.
Hey, that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me, Coach.
Thanks
very much. Really appreciate you guys taking the time. Give my best to Mike.
I will.
Thanks, Madison. Thanks Kristen. We appreciate it very much.
The
The Chesterton girls soccer team will open their season in South Bend. They're going to be over at the Irish Classic out there, the St. Joseph Invitational. Teams from all over the state participate in that. They'll open up in the Duneland in Michigan City on August the 20th, and then they will go to South Bend for the St. Joe Invitational on Friday and Saturday of that particular weekend, just before that little game against Valparaiso on August the 27th, which is always a nice little foray to start the season. So we're going to continue on. The Blazers from Marquette High School are going to join us here from the Northwest Indiana Soccer Conference. We're going to be taking a break here in about 15 minutes to continue on with the archive of the broadcast out here. And we're going to bring on Lacey Hersman is going to join us. Coach,
nice to meet
you. Great to meet you, too. And
thanks
for taking the time and coming out from
Coach.
Michigan City. And let's talk about the new year and the new mental approach now, because you've got a year under your belt. You've had a chance to kind of see the lay of the land here in Northwest Indiana, and how it's been going for you so far.
We just finished our first week of practices, and we're excited for the new season. We've got a lot of enthusiastic players, a lot of new players out on the field, and we're just excited to see what this year has in store. Trying to take some of that experience from last year from a coaching standpoint, but also from a playing standpoint, and seeing what our players bring this season.
How are the numbers?
We're much better than last year, but that's only by a couple. We only had about 12 players last year, and if somebody was sick or somebody was injured, we were moving people all over the field. So this year we've got about 13, and I should have about 15 or 16 hopefully by the end of next week. So
what good experiences from last year, your first year coaching, are you trying to bring into this year?
I think knowing the teams better. I didn't know any of the team names up up in this region. I'm from Indianapolis and just didn't know a lot of the teams. So knowing how the rules of the game, going from college soccer to high school soccer, knowing the differences, and also just knowing who the teams are, who to look out for, players to
You
keep
have
in
that
mind.
foundation built.
Absolutely.
And of course, being from Center Grove, a program that's steeped in tradition down
Yes.
there, and you obviously have an idea of what the competition is down in Marion County with Carmel and with Noblesville and Indianapolis Cathedral, and the list goes on and on and on. 9-8-1 with 12 players. You got my vote for Coach of the Year, Coach. I tell you that. I mean, what was that like? I mean, to be able to just survive.
Oh, absolutely. It was completely unexpected. I didn't know what we were stepping into at our first game. I didn't know how we would turn out at all, and I think the girls surprised me and they surprised themselves. They worked very hard last season, playing with just a few players, and they have such heart and dedication. They ask questions and they're constantly learning each and every day, and that's something you can't take away from these girls.
The big question mark is obviously between the pipes. Rosie Wall moves on to graduation. She's going to be a student over at Marion University, so pretty much open competition there, or do you have somebody in mind?
We've got a freshman coming in, Bella Kaplan, who's looked strong for us thus far this season. I have another one in mind because I'd really like to use Bella on the field. With such low numbers, we've got to have a backup just in case. And Brittany Green, an incoming sophomore, is looking like that for us right now. Bella's got the agility. She knows the game well, and I trust her back there. So looking for her this season.
You're losing two midfielders in Allie Westbrook along with Hannah Weber, so I'd imagine that's a pretty big emphasis for you as far as this season.
Yes, unfortunately, those girls just had heart and dedication in that center mid. They worked hard all 90 minutes. But we have Madeline Wood, who's a senior, who's stepping up big for us this year. She can play anywhere on the field, and wherever I need her to play, she's ready and willing. So we're really looking forward to putting her probably in the center mid for each game and be able to utilize all of her skills.
Going back to last year real quick, what was your biggest challenge that you thought coming into it with picking a leader for the team, finding a leader for the team? How was that process for you personally?
We actually didn't name captains last year. I had two captains bands, but we didn't. They changed every game. I had 6 tremendous seniors last year. It started with Allie Westbrook, Hannah Weber, Rosie Wall, and Sydney Mussman. And then they're just such leaders, all 4 of them. I couldn't just give it to 2 people. So each game we were constantly switching it up, but it was also pushing them to be better leaders in practice. Depending on how they performed in practice was who we chose for captains for that game. So it constantly kept them on their toes as well.
Well, one of the linchpins on that defense that had 7 shutouts and a goals against average of 1.83 was Maggie Cannon, and Maggie's going to join us right now. And Maggie, talk about only having 11 teammates out there during the year, what that was like, and fighting through the injuries. I'm sure that a lot of the kids had to even push the envelope a little bit in that regard, and to be able to win 9 of your 18 matches last year.
It was really Coach who kind of helped us with that balance, and it was a surprise every game, like who came out, and we all had to really come out to play. There wasn't a lot of subs, and so we all had to put our heart out every game and we knew that. So before each game, we'd all get together, and the leaders, the seniors, really helped us get out.
What's it going to be like now without Rosie back there?
She's my cousin actually, so we were very, very close. She was definitely the leader of the team, and she really talked to us out there. Her voice was very almost we heard it through the whole game. She told us where to go, so it's gonna be hard without them.
There's definitely going to be how important is the communication aspect in that defensive third? I think that's an aspect of the game that gets overlooked quite a bit.
Oh, it's everything. It really is. I went into my freshman year playing defense, and I didn't really know that communication was the key to defense. You have to tell each other. It's a teamwork. Who's open? Who do you have to get to? Make runs. So.
Most improved player on the team voted by your teammates as well. How do you feel you improved, and in what areas do you feel like you still have some room for growth?
My aggressiveness, I really need to improve on, but I did improve with that actually. I still need room to improve on that. I improved. Coach works hard on putting fitness into our drills during practice, so definitely fitness-wise, I've improved, and being a team player and talking with like the younger girls and keeping them on their toes.
Stephanie Esbar is also in the back for you as well. Played in the junior all-star team. What's it been like playing in the back with her?
Steph and I have really been together through this whole thing last year and this year. She and I play left and right last year, so we had the same like issues, same like struggles with the game. So we got to talk about that and improve with each other.
Summa cum laude. Not too bad, huh? 4.0. Another great student athlete here, Adam. And talk about the balancing, the juggling act. Coach obviously has a lot of expectations, especially with the low numbers. She's going to want you to be out there, throughout the season, not only on the field but off the field leadership. How are you able to handle all that?
I mean, honestly, it's not easy. Coach came in telling us academics is very important. Like she knows that soccer for a lot of us is not going to be our whole lives, and
right.
Academics is crucial. So it's definitely a challenge balancing academics with soccer. But if you organize, and Coach is a teacher at our school, so she's always there for us to help us with school if we need it. So
outstanding.
Coach, there's going through today and what I've seen, probably the most impressive thing that I've seen, and Mike and I have made a couple references to throughout the show, is the amount of 4.0 or above student athletes, and just how encouraging it is to see a student athlete really put that student first before that athlete title. I guess my question is, what do you think the main purpose or what you can attribute most to how student athletes today put that student aspect first? What is the cause of that, in your opinion?
Oh, well, I think it starts in the classroom. Being a teacher, I always tell my students, and I tell my players, God comes first, family comes second, then it's academics, then it's soccer. I tell them that if something's going on at home, be at home. If you've got a big test tomorrow, make sure you let me know, and you can get out of here early. From a teaching standpoint, I want that player that wants to be on the field, but first comes to me and asks the questions and says, I'm not understanding this problem, and how can I get there? My kids come before school and after school. They know they've got practice after school, so they're in my classroom at 7 o'clock saying, I've got questions on this homework. And I think the bar has been set, especially at Marquette Catholic. We have 100% graduation rate to go on to college. And our students they went to 30 different colleges out of a class of only about 62. So we're always pushing the bar, and I think our students and our athletes know that they have to attain those goals in order to stay in with their classmates.
The former Knight from Marian University has joined us here today. Lacey Hersman, 9-8-1 last season. A lot more expectations this year. Maggie Cannon, congratulations on the academic success and continue success on the pitch as well.
Great.
Thanks very much for taking the time.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. The Blazers from Marquette Catholic High School have joined us here. Coach will be now entering her second season. They will be starting off against Michigan City, well, actually against Couts on the road on August the 21st. Then they will be heading into the Northwest Indiana Soccer Conference against Covenant Christian on the road. And then big matchup in LaPorte County against the Slicers before the Crosstown Classic against the Michigan City Wolves and Stephanie Dagey coming up to end their month of August, which is going to be a very busy one for the Blazers from Marquette Catholic High School. We're going to move on to the Northwest Crossroads Conference now. We're going to bring on the Munster Mustangs. They're going to join us here on the 19th installment of the Northwest Indiana Boys and Girls Soccer Kickoff Classic. And let's try to get the bio sheets over here, ladies, so we can talk a little bit to you all. And first of all, let's talk about last season. Good season for Munster, 17-4 on the year, 6-0 in the conference. Kaylee, let's start off with you and give us an idea, your thoughts on how you thought things went last year.
I thought we did a really good job last year. I mean, we lost a couple games, but overall as a team, we were healthy and we we went as far as we thought we could. We tried our best, which was good, and not a lot of people got hurt, so that was good. And just overall, I thought we did really well.
I know the loss to Crown Point is something that's I'm sure going to be a motivating factor.
Oh, for sure.
So let's talk about that. How do you take something as disappointing as that and try to turn it into a positive this year?
I mean, we kind of don't really look to that as much of a disappointment, but every team we look to as a hard game, and we're just going to try our best with every game, not just Crown Point alone.
How are things shaping up for the senior class? You got Sammy along with Sarah over here, and how has the preseason conditioning gone with Coach?
It's gone very well. Everyone's been really healthy so far, and we're giving 110% every single day, and we're just working on our goals and trying to do well and set high goals for the season.
Who's opened up your eyes? Some newcomers, some kids that have entered the program now that you see that said, "Wow, that's a pretty good move there in the midfield. Somebody that could possibly help us out this year."
Actually, I've seen a lot of good freshmen this year and sophomores from last year. No one really specific, but I'd say overall the whole freshman class has been really impressing me a lot.
Yeah, the midfield is going to be obviously a strong point for this team with yourself coming in for Jenny Kristoff, and you've got Jessica, Rachel along with Kayla. So touch base on the midfield, how you see them performing that all-important role of getting the transition going from the defensive end to the offensive third.
I see us doing a very well job because it's all the returning starters, so we all know we have good chemistry with each other and we know how to work well with each other. So it'll be good transitioning back and forth with the field, and we all know how to work well together, so it should be good.
This has been a common 3 words that I've mentioned throughout the day: academic all-state. That is just incredible. It's a great accomplishment. Talk about that aspect of the student-athlete experience and how you're able to meet Coach Flum's expectations and also do a great job for your teachers as well.
Being a student-athlete is very hard indeed. It's really time-consuming trying to balance my grades and soccer at the same time, but with Flum and the help of my teammates and my family, I can find a happy medium and balance school and soccer. So with the help of everyone, it's good.
What's the We the People state finalists? What's that all about?
It was a U.S. government course, and so it was all about the Constitution. It was an exciting course we took.
Outstanding. We'll pass the microphone over to Sarah Webster right now, to your immediate right, a 4.1 student, also doing a great job in the classroom. And Sarah, talk about the defense for this team. Only one loss with Allison Angle. That's some big shoes to fill there in the sweeper position. And how do you see that shaping up in the back this year?
Yeah, Allison Engel, she was a great player, and it's sad to lose her, but we have a lot of power coming back this year with most of our starting defense coming back, and I think we've really been building up, and we're pretty strong back there.
Touch base on DECA and what that's all about and how that fits into everything that you do off the field.
DECA is like a business organization. We go and we compete in events that, for me, I'm in marketing and communications, and we take tests and do role play, sort of like speech and debate. And it's kind of a fun thing that we get to learn about, because if you're interested in business, you get to go in and compete in something that you might actually use later in life.
Yep, that's in the business world is very competitive. I can definitely assure you of that. Let's talk about the loss of Parin Patel. That's a big loss there in the back. I'm assuming that Melanie Kruger will be stepping up there. So talk about her as a junior now coming in and taking over for Parin.
Mel is working really hard to become, a really great goalie. She's a bit younger. She's still a junior to be, the starting goalie. And unfortunately, she doesn't have quite as much experience as Parin did, because Parin was a senior.
Right.
But I think she's doing a great job, working hard, and the defense will be working hard to make her feel comfortable, and it's all about the team chemistry, I think.
Well, let's bring on Sammy Kufis right now, midfielder of the year for the Munster Mustangs. And Sammy, congratulations on a terrific career so far, and touch base on your thoughts of last year and how you see things shaping up for this year with a new group of student athletes coming in.
Well, last year I think that we did a lot better than everyone expected us to. No one expected anything from us, and that was like a really big motivation factor for us. So like last year, like it was like amazing how well we did for how little everyone expected from us. And this year, like we expect more from us because of what we showed from last year when no one expected anything. So like Kaylee said, we have a lot of freshmen who are stepping up and pushing all of us seniors, and like they're making everything a lot more competitive because they want the spots too.
Now, I understand Coach may be throwing you into some different roles this year, maybe moving you up a little bit, possibly some set pieces, that kind of thing. So discuss that and maybe trying to get more involved offensively with the team.
Yeah, we're obviously looking to score goals, so we're trying to find more offensive attacking ways of trying to like make set plays that'll work and stuff. But I mean, defense is obviously the important factor too, that we're trying to make sure that having no goals scored against us is very important to us. So we want to set that as a goal and then work our way to the top to get goals too.
Couple of losses as far as up top with Jackie Ashley along with Jess Wargo moving on. Sylvie Christoph as well. Allison's obviously a huge cog to what you guys are going to be doing offensively. Who else do you see in either the offensive mid position moving up or maybe one of the youngsters coming up at the striker spot?
There's obviously like open spots because Allie is our main forward, but they all are competing. We don't know who will get that spot because we still have time to see who will prove themselves the most. But we definitely have some younger kids who everyone should be looking out for because they have very good skills and will bring a lot to this team.
Now, Kaylee, Sammy talked about the fact that there was not a lot of expectations. There always is at Munster. I understand that because I know Val and I know her intensity, that's for sure. But does that kind of put a little bit more pressure on you as a senior now, knowing this is kind of the swan song here, and how do you handle that?
Yeah, there definitely is a lot more pressure because it's sad that I'm a senior and my season will be coming to an end. So we all want to push each other and go as far as we can. And so it does definitely indeed put a lot of pressure on me. But all together, we're kind of all helping each other control that pressure, and we're getting through it.
What has Coach been emphasizing as far as aspects of the game, either mentally or physically? Has she been pushing the envelope a little bit more with your conditioning, trying to get you guys to run a little bit more? Or has it been mainly looking at different aspects of the game? I know you've only been around together for about a week here, but have there been any special emphasis on certain areas of the game?
I think we're focusing on every single part of the game. We've definitely been a lot of conditioning. We run every day, so we're in shape, and we're also working on our skill level and just everything in general.
Personal goals for you, Sammy, for your senior year?
I'm actually trying to set those for myself. I have to talk with Flom about that. But I definitely want to make some goals about how many like assists I can get or how many shots I can take on a game.
And Sarah, how about you as far as goals for your year, the senior year here, and not only for yourself individually, but as well as for the team?
Well, for me, I feel like I just want to make sure I'm improving every practice with every touch that I take. And as a team, I would say that, the most important thing is that we trust each other on the field. So we're really working on that because there's so much talent on our team right now. There's so many people who have the ability to play for us on our team. So I think it's just our goal to make sure that everyone keeps pushing each other and keeps working their hardest to get as far as we possibly can.
Sammy, you've been a 4-year player for the Munster soccer program and worked your way up from freshman all the way to senior. What's it like now to see all the younger kids coming in the same position that you were in 4 years ago? And of course, with your sisters being in the program, you had a chance to look up to them for leadership and for example. What's it like now being on the other side of the fence?
It's funny because my freshman year, of course, I was so timid and scared of everything, and all the seniors, I didn't want to go up hard against them. But these freshmen actually have a different mentality. They'll get right up in our face if we're kind of slacking a little. They'll push us down.
Why do you think that is?
I think the senior class is trying to emphasize that we want to have every practice intense. We don't want to have a week practice. We want everything to be full out. So, and they're definitely bringing and stepping it up. They're doing some risky things that I would never push a senior down. I'd be too scared, and they're getting in our face, and it's good because it's making us all better.
Sure. Absolutely. It's going to help your depth as well down the road. So, ladies, thank you very much for taking the time. We appreciate it. Congratulations on a great year last year. No, it didn't end the way you wanted it to, but 17-4 is a terrific season, and continued success. Tell Mom and Dad I said hello, and thank them very much for everything they do for us.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Kaylee, Sarah, thank you very much. The Munster Mustangs girls team also did a great job as well in the conference last season as well. They were undefeated and NWCC champions. Thank you very much, Sarah. And 17-4 on the year. Had that lead against Crown Point, gave it up. But that's part of life, and that's a learning experience that they will go through, and they will try to correct that situation. So we're going to move on right now, and we are going to advance and continue on here as we move on. We're going to bring on Kankakee Valley, but you know what? Before we do that and bring on Jason Vanderwood, we are going to take a break because we're trying to archive this 8-hour monster here. We got a big file to do that, so we're going to take about a 10 or 15-second break. We're going to come back and continue on with the 19th Annual Boys and Girls High School Soccer Kickoff Classic. We're going till 9 o'clock tonight here on RRSN.com and Regional Radio Sports.